This is the Omaha News, presented by the School of Communication at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, from the studios of UNO Television.
The number of DUIs given out by police has increased in Omaha. The punishments are getting more strict, but don't seem to stop people from driving under the influence. We'll tell you more today on the Omaha News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dan Wolf.
And I'm Nick Bohan. You may be seeing store closing signs on a few of the video rental stores in Omaha. We will tell you a factor that might lead to fewer video rental stores in the future and more of those box-like machines that are popping up in stores. All of that and more coming up this half hour. Officers were called to the Baker supermarket off of South Saddle Creek Road to investigate an armed robbery. Witnesses told officers that two suspects, both black males displaying firearms, entered the store. One suspect went to the customer service area and the other to the U.S. Bank area and demanded an undetermined amount of money, then fled. Officers have searched the area but were unable to find the suspects.
You may have noticed more and more police patrolling the roads in recent weeks. This is no coincidence, as officers are strongly stepping up the lookout for drunk drivers. Don't drink and drive. This saying has been drilled into all of our heads for most of our lives, which makes the latest developments regarding this issue here in Omaha that much more surprising. There's been a large increase in the number of DUIs given out in and around the city.
This time of the year with high school graduations, proms, school events, everything like that, you know, with both our underage drivers and our inexperienced younger, adults that are drinking and driving and causing crashes.
But has this rise in DUIs been a result of increased enforcement or an uptick in drunk driving? Well, law enforcement says it's a bit of both.
St. Patrick's Day was a good example last week, with Stepped Up and Fortunate. That's a very high-profile drinking day that starts at 8 o'clock in the morning.
A perfect example of this was the result of a recent enhanced DUI enforcement that took place from March 12th to the 20th. In just these 8 days, a whopping 73 drivers were found to be under the influence, 37 of which were underage, and 5 of these people received at least their second DUI. Along with the increase in DUIs comes the rise of the ignition interlock device. It's installed in your car and comes in all shapes and sizes. Before you start your car, you're required to blow into the device. And if you blow a .02 or higher, your car may not start for as long as 24 hours. But how harsh are the punishments for these drunk drivers?
That costs you about $1,000 for the lawyer. And then you have to pay a $400 fine along with other things you have to pay for, like the classes you have to take and all that stuff.
I had to do random drug testing. I was sentenced to 6 months probation. 90 days license revocation.
So next time you drink and think about driving, just remember the words of those who've been punished for it.
My insurance is just skyrocketed out of the roof.
Now, police say that they will keep DUI enforcement high throughout the spring and summer months, which is when drunk driving typically rises.
Police responded to a call about a gunshot wound last night around 5 p.m. Tamatha Kopak was rushed to the Nebraska Medical Center in critical condition and was pronounced dead at arrival. Mark Beckwith was arrested for criminal homicide, use of a gun to commit a felony, and a felon in possession of a firearm. One World Community Health Center is opening a special clinic for poor pregnant women to come in and get the care they need. The clinic is only a short-term aid thought up after the state ended medical funding for parental services for poor women. One World is working with the state and other groups to come up with a long-term solution. The clinic is called Every Baby Matters and starts March 29th. The clinic will run every Monday night through April from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It is all first come, first serve, and the services cost $5. If you want to learn more, you can visit their website or call 734-4110. Living a healthy lifestyle is the new it thing. Bettia Williamson tells us about the One Omaha Community Center that is using the power of choice to teach children to live a healthy life.
Teaching children to form healthy habits is vital to a healthy lifestyle, and Girls Inc. is ahead of the curve.
Girls Inc., motto, encouraging all girls to be strong, smart, and bold. And in being strong, smart, and bold, you got to make smart decisions. And making smart decisions, not only money-wise, educational-wise, health-wise, because, there's an epidemic in this country of, obesity, and especially childhood obesity. So Girls Inc. is doing their part in trying to combat that.
And it all starts with healthy choices.
We try our best to serve and sell only healthy snacks. That would include granola bars, kind of the trail mix, fruit juices instead of pop. We have taken out all candy, so we do not serve candy at all. Not for our snacks that we give the kids daily when they're here all day, or for our Snackalicious.
Snackalicious is the Girls Inc. healthy alternative to traditional vending machines. First Lady Michelle Obama introduced a new health initiative combating childhood obesity using healthy eating and physical activity.
Girls Inc. They're all about letting the girls go outside. So if it's nice, they go. It's just a way to get energized, and work out.
And the girls were energized today, taking full advantage of the nice weather. Local businesses are also participating in the health initiative.
We appreciate Whole Foods big time because every day our drivers go and pick up healthy foods such as salads, dips that does not contain any kind of fats. None of the foods contain sugar. Staff is able to get those foods, the girls when they're leaving, and also their parents, and they really appreciate those healthy foods and snacks.
I think Mommy would try this.
At Girls Inc., it's all about a healthy choice. For the Omaha News, I'm Bettia Williamson.
For more information or to get involved with Girls Inc., you can visit their website or call 457-4676.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the Omaha Council Bluffs metro area population is on the rise. Because of the area's relatively strong economy, only 3 counties in the region have decreased, while the other 5 have increased. The population of all 8 counties have increased over 10,000 people. The Omaha population change from 2008 to 2009 was the largest single-year increase for the area. Due to the cost of commuting and gas, many are moving closer to the city, causing Douglas County to have the largest increase in population.
Nebraska's Attorney General will join Republicans and one Democrat in suing the federal government over the health care reform bill. The lawsuit was filed Tuesday in Florida about 7 minutes after President Obama signed the bill. The 13 attorneys general claim in the new lawsuit that forcing mandatory health care and then penalizing those who don't have it is unconstitutional.
After months of white, we're once again able to see grass. Where we usually see green, there's a patchy, flat, grayish colored grass. When we come back, we'll be looking at why the grass is not its normal green color.
Also, the economy and the arts. What has happened to the corporate support of the arts? That's coming up next on the Omaha News.
UNO Television.
Students work with professionals who have all kinds of experience in the industry.
Lights, camera, action. Literally.
Get paid while you learn more about the TV business.
Work on all kinds of productions.
My friends who worked on TV Crew last semester are now working part-time at local stations.
Working on TV Crew is a great experience.
UNO Television. Student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
Breathtaking, electrifying, inspiring. Award-winning documentaries produced by UNO Television offer you a window on the history of Omaha and the world. Beginning with the acclaimed 2-hour documentary on the history of Omaha, If These Walls Could Speak, UNO Television has developed a reputation for producing high-quality programs that explore, educate, and enlighten. These outstanding productions can be part of your home video collection. For information about purchasing VHS or DVD copies, call 554-2516 or visit our website at unotv.unomaha.edu.
Most local television news only gives you brief headlines about issues that may be important to you. But for more than 10 years, only one program has remained dedicated to examining all the information about issues that really matter to Nebraskans. I'm Kathy Wyatt, and it's my privilege to present those issues for your consideration. Join me on the campus of UNO in a program we call Consider This, every week on the Knowledge Network.
Once again, it is crane season in Nebraska. Along the western end of the Platte River, locals along with tourists from all over the world come to watch the sandhill cranes, as Katie Murphy reports and hopes to see another, more endangered crane.
In the early morning light along the Platte River in Alda, Nebraska, a small group of guides and tourists stand quietly, listening. Around them can be heard thousands of birds. The sandhill and whooping crane migrations have started.
The thing that we really want to leave with folks is that it only happens here in Nebraska. There's really only a few places left on the planet where these kinds of things can be seen. It's wonderful migration, all kinds of birds, but the biggest and the loudest and the most recognizable, perhaps, is the sandhill crane.
Cranes are wary of humans.
You can't sneak up on a sandhill crane.
As well as predators like bald eagles. And while tourists may be as quiet as possible, nature has a mind of her own.
Even though you may not see sandhill cranes, I can guarantee you will hear them.
But I think hearing it is 80% of the experience.
And what an experience it is. Thousands of cranes flying overhead. Even the volunteer guides are never bored taking tourists out to the crane blinds.
They come up and landed right near us. There's never been a bad tour. It's never been a bad tour. It's always been good crane viewing.
I'm retired. I have time to do it, and the people that I take out there really enjoy it. And I get a thrill out of it.
While there may be 500,000 to 600,000 sandhill cranes, there are only around 500 whooping cranes in the world. 263 fly through Nebraska.
They're marvelous birds, 7-foot plus wingspan, pure white with black wingtips, and so to see a wild whooping crane while in Nebraska, it really is a tremendously exciting thing to see.
The Nebraska Nature and Visitor Center is more than just cranes. But the center's hope is
when they're traveling down I-80 and their destination is Chicago or Denver, that they'll start to recognize, hey, I'm in the middle of a really an awesome ecosystem.
For the Omaha News, I'm Katie Murphy.
The Platte River is the key to increasing the number of wild whooping cranes. The Nature Center works along with other agencies to preserve the river and to keep the cranes coming back.
After months of not seeing green, the snow has melted, but in many cases, people still aren't seeing green. With the snow gone, people are finding that their grass is flat and a grayish color. If you look at the blades closely, you'll see gray spores, which are snow fungus. Lawn care professionals are getting phone calls daily asking about the fungus and what to do. Luckily, there are no expensive chemicals needed to clear up the fungus. All you need is a rake. To get rid of the fungus, you need to rake the gray area in all directions till all debris is gone.
With a large increase of Redbox movie rental kiosks around the city, many people are turning to Little Red machines for DVD movies. Traditional movie rental companies are starting to feel the effects. Calvin Nesbitt has more on the story.
You may have seen them spreading around the cities like wildfire these past few years at convenience stores, fast food restaurants, pharmacies, and grocery stores. Redbox movie rental kiosks are the new method of DVD rental and have seemed to take an effect on traditional movie rental stores such as Blockbuster and Hollywood Video.
Well, I used to go to Blockbuster and stuff, but I haven't been there for a while. I've just been doing the Redbox.
Redbox's one-day, $1 movie rentals are cheaper for the customers, and the vast majority of them around the city tend to place them in more convenient locations.
A block away from my house, and me and my roommates always just hop over here, and you don't have to go into the store for some of them. So you don't have to talk to anybody, just work the machine.
Hollywood Video has just filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy for the second time in 3 years, and many believe Redbox and many of the more convenient methods of obtaining videos are to blame.
I think Redbox is the wave of the future. I think it's more than just a fad, and if these other rental companies are going to survive, they're going to have to catch up with it. People love the convenience of Redbox. Pick them up anywhere, return them anywhere. You don't have to worry, low cost, high convenience. That's a winning pair every time.
So with the struggling economy, many movie rental places are switching up their marketing strategies with machines like Redbox. They're hoping their customers will be more satisfied with more of those, which will lead to less of these. And for the Omaha News, I'm Kelvin Nesbitt.
Redbox is planning on coming out with Blu-ray along with the DVDs by May of 2010.
Nebraska's Governor Mansion has a new guest living in it. The governor and his wife have added a new family member and involved children from the tour in naming the new member.
Also, when we come back, we'll be sitting down with Dr. Wanda Ewing about the arts and what the recession has meant to them. You're watching the Omaha News.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha is where you'll find unlimited possibilities. At UNO, our 15,000 students are learning what they need to know to join the workforce of tomorrow. With 200 programs, students participate in innovative academics and are engaged in dynamic campus and community life. The University of Nebraska at Omaha. Step up to the metropolitan advantage at bmav.com.
Maverick Sports has found a classy new home for football, hockey, and basketball coverage. Classical 90.7 KVNO. For schedule information, go to kvno.org. KVNO, the voice of Omaha's team, the UNO Mavericks.
Feed your brain with original programs from the Knowledge Network. TKN combines the resources of educational and television experts from UNO Television, Omaha Public Schools, Westside Community Schools, Metropolitan Community College, and Creighton University. TKN members produce a variety of programming with collaboration from students working in front of and behind the camera. The Knowledge Network. Feed your brain by watching Cox 17 and 18.
You're watching the Omaha News.
The recession has cost the U.S. in jobs, homes, and confidence. It has also had an effect on art. In the studio with us today, we are talking to Dr. Wanda Ewing about what the recession has done to the arts. Thanks for joining us, Wanda.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, I guess, we'll start off. What exactly has the recession done to the arts?
Well, I think it definitely has affected in the way of funding. It's a lot more minimal. There isn't, it's just not... It's not the 80s anymore where it seemed like things were a lot easier for artists. So, yeah.
Well, sure. Well, what about, other different like organizations and companies buy art? Has there not been as much support?
That's really hard to say. I think that there's still very strong corporations that invest in art. At the Jocelyn right now, there is this exhibition that's up called The Human Touch. And that is a corporate collection. And I'm glad that there's still those kind of collections operating, because they are, investing in something that I think is very important.
Well, what kind of corporate support has been there been in the past?
Well, I'm thinking about that because it really, I think it just dates back even thousands of years. Like, even if you want to say is the church a corporation? Because really, a lot of the times the church invested in artists and commissioned them to make work, and you still have corporations today that will commission artists to do public art projects or public art services. So, yeah, it's still happening.
All right. Well, with a poor economy, is there any effect on teaching the arts to kids or anything in the?
Yes. Unfortunately, I still see that. Well, if you go into any educational situation, because funding is getting more and more difficult, the first thing that seems to be on the chopping block are anything artistic. It's not in any order, but music, art usually goes first, and that's a problem.
Well, sure, and obviously, different schools are finding different ways to cut back money, and like you said, it could be the first cut. How important is this to keep art in schools?
Art is extremely important. I mean, whenever I'm like, okay, let's say you're in a grocery store and, bakers, they sell, even if it's like poor reproductions or just simple images, people like to put things on their wall and they like to live with things. It's inspiring, it's motivating, it's beautiful, people escape in it. I think art touches people's lives more than they realize it. So,
well, sure.
Yes.
Obviously the main thing is keep programs in schools. So that's the main idea, is to keep art in school. Is there any ways of cutting back, or?
Well, because like I said before, even though we are having difficulties funding-wise across the nation, it just forces you to become more creative with the classes that you offer. But it's not going to go anywhere as far as like eliminating programs is not the solution, because every program needs to have art in it. So. Absolutely. Do you feel that kids aren't quite getting the full experience though by cutbacks, or do you think art is just there to stay? Well, I think that they are missing out on some things, but I think it's like an ebb and flow. As the funding gets taken away, you cut back on some things, but then it'll rebuild itself again in new creative ways. So it's just right now we're at a lull, but then it'll swing up again. So all right, yeah. Well, fair enough. Thank you for joining us, Wanda. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
All right, well, there might be a lift on a drinking ban that Nebraskans are hoping will bring in more visitors and revenue to the state. More on this after the break.
Also, we'll be looking at the comedy show that was held at UNO, where local comedians were given a chance to show off exactly how funny they are. You're watching the Omaha News on the Knowledge Network.
Hi, I'm Meshach Taylor, actor and public television supporter, encouraging you to become a fan of UNO Television. Located on the University of Nebraska at Omaha campus, UNO Television is a unit of the College of Communication, Fine Arts, and Media. Student crew members are trained and placed in broadcasting positions that give them real-world experience. Many students move seamlessly into jobs within the local television market. UNO Television, student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
If you're an Omaha kid feeling tired and slow, here's the numbers you ought to know. Eat 5 fruits and veggies every day. Drink 4 glasses of water, okay? Eat 3 foods from the dairy scene, and just 2 hours in front of the screen. Now take 1 hour to move around, and that's the Healthy Kids Countdown.
For games, ideas, and other fun stuff about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Visit livewellomahakids.org. But don't stay long.
Only one program has remained dedicated to examining all the information on issues that really matter to Nebraskans. Watch Consider This, a program produced by UNO Television to give you more information than your typical newscast.
Inspired with your classical companion, Classical 90.7 KVNO.
You're watching the Omaha News.
Nebraska Game and Park Commission is talking about dropping a ban on alcohol in Nebraska state parks. At Mahoney State Park, alcohol is only allowed in the rented cabins. They worry that dropping the ban may attract a rowdy crowd, but it could also bring in more visitors and money. The alcohol ban has been in effect since the 1990s. The Game and Parks Commission said they have more research to do, but will try to decide quickly.
UNO's organization, Maverick Productions, put on a free comedy night this week, where comedians and slam poets perform their talents. As Capri Walton reports, there is nothing like cracking a few jokes in school.
UNO's first ever comedy night, a showcase of poetic and comedic talent, made its debut this week, giving students a night of relaxation and laughs.
Inside, Maverick Productions has transformed UNO's Maverick Lounge into a candlelit evening of comedy and slam poetry.
Why is it that poetry is never positive? Like red writing reduces redundant redundancies, repeating repugnant revelations, reiterating righteous ramblings, running rampant on a rampage for religious rants and raves, racing past ravishing reactions on the radio.
The Maverick Lounge was decorated in a comedy nightclub-like theme, complete with food, non-alcoholic drinks, and laughter.
You can't fire Jim Flowers. His last name is Flowers. He has to know something about the weather. So, but I guess until Sonny Meadows walks in, I guess he's okay. After that, he's going to be out on the curb.
The show was hosted by former UNO recruitment officer Jason Bloom.
Yeah,
I got a lot of rapport here at UNO. I was an employee here for about 7 years, and a lot of the students kind of know me as someone who kind of dabbles in comedy a little bit. Did a couple open mics, that kind of thing, and just kind of had more name recognition. A lot of people recognize me from possibly recruiting them or whatever. I think this is a great night and a great thing for UNO students.
Well-known comedian and Nebraska native Matt Geiler would be the headlining performer of the night.
And I said, "Baby girl, do you not love me because these ducks are lying dead?"
I'd like to continue to do this type of performing up until my 42nd year. When that happens, I'll be 7 years past the legal age to run for president. My hope is that by that time people will have forgotten this era, and that I will have amassed enough money to effect a complete changeover where I can then run for office and be taken seriously.
Maverick Productions comedy and leisure co-chair David Nam is hoping that the event will become a regular thing throughout the school year.
After seeing it tonight, I think this was a pretty good success. I think there's a very good chance that you will see something like this again, either later this year or even next year. So this will probably be hopefully something that we can do every so often here in the Mav Lounge.
This night of fun and laughs is only the start of things to come. For the Omaha News, I'm Capri Walton.
For more information on auditioning for Comedy Night, contact Maverick Productions advisor Eric Cron at 554-2711.
Nebraska has a new first dog living in the governor's house. The new Maltese Silky Terrier mix was a present to the governor's wife, Sally Ganem, from her son and daughter-in-law. Governor Heineman and Ganem didn't name the new pup right away, but it had children who were going on the governor's mansion tour suggest names. Out of all the names suggested, the two picked the name Snickers.
Next week on the Omaha News, teenagers should be getting the message soon that texting and driving don't mix.
But not all news is bad for teenagers. More and more of them are volunteering their time to help others. We'll have those stories and more next week. From all of us here at the Omaha News, have a good evening.
UNO represents the commitment that the community makes toward a quality education.
Why would you not want to come to an institution that's as vibrant and alive as this institution is?
Feed your brain with original programs from the Knowledge Network. TKN combines the resources of educational and television experts from UNO Television, Omaha Public Schools, Westside Community Schools, Metropolitan Community College, and Creighton University. TKN members produce a variety of programming with collaboration from students working in front of and behind the camera. The Knowledge Network. Feed Your Brain by watching Cox 17 and 18.